Hello and welcome back to the Masters Mod. Last episode we went back to the islands and unlocked the Besaid shop, and now we're gonna go to the Omega Ruins and challenge Ultima. But in order to reach him, we have to go through the last encounters of the game, and they're definitely the hardest of the game. Starting off with the double defender fight, and these guys will counter you with a blast punch, which will do all of your damage if you don't either break them or protect yourself. So for that, I'll usually like to threaten one of them and blitz it down after an armor break. That way you don't have to worry about both them taking out a party member, because really that plus the Haymaker will probably just OHKO anyone who's out there. But they don't have any AoE. So as long as you have somebody to revive, they really shouldn't be too big a deal once you get one of them down. Now, the fight might have been a little faster if I targeted the defender Y instead of the Z, so that way he couldn't get his mighty guard up, but at the end of the day, we still got there. Now, this encounter with the giant eye and the double curl is scary if you let them get their turns, but you don't have to let them get their turns. Again, remember that the eye, as always, is zombified, so you can do half of its HP with just a revive or a simple life off of Yuna. Then, because we have Riku with Sleep Buster and Waka with Sleep Buster, we can just let the poison sleep magic damage take out the Corels. Now, the triple bomb fight is super scary and is kind of reliant on RNG for me. I tried provoking them with Titus and they can still use their fire magic, or their flare magic now that they have. So provoke isn't really guaranteed to draw a physical attack. Ornn with Sentinel and counter attack can do really good damage since they don't respond with a auto protect like they would with a normal attack. So that way you can get enough damage off of them. Only thing is yeah, Ornn's magic defense is super low, and they can throw out either Flare or Fire Aga, so if they do that, then that's definitely not the best. So really, if you have an Overdrive in the pocket that has a good AoE, then really you should consider using it on these guys. Now, with the double first strike with Ornn and Titus, I am still able to threaten and blitz down the Marlboro. It is a little bit tighter now though, because Ornn, with his level ups going into Waka's grid, or the end of Waka's grid, he's actually not slow as Tar anymore. So in that case his threaten's not quite as effective, but we can still blitz it down. Only thing is just make sure that Titus is on the front line, so that way his armor can protect him from the bad breath if the poison doesn't do him in. There are several encounters with the lizard and the mimic. Only thing is at least on the run where I got up to Ultima, I only got the chests that explode. So this is actually the best one in my opinion, or the easiest one to deal with. They will, if the chest doesn't explode, it'll turn into one of the tougher monsters throughout the game, except they're not nearly as cheesable because they're immune to ailments that you would normally use to shut them down. In this case, we don't have to deal with that because it just takes out one party member. You bring in Yuna, throw out a quick life, no big deal. The lizard you can still shut down with sleep and blind, or poison too, which is great. Only thing is that sometimes it'll use a poison breath, so you really can't rely on just leaving everyone in the yellow, because poison breath will do maybe 3000 HP damage to everybody, and that's just not a good time. If it catches you off guard, then that can be a wipe and you'll have to start over. So just remember that even when it's blind, sometimes a lizard can just hit everybody for a good amount. Just like before, the Demonoliths will counter everything with like a Pharaoh's Curse. Not the best if you don't have an armor that'll mitigate everything, but they are not immune to sleep and poison. So we can cheese them out with that, and then hit them with the magic. But if you have armor that's pretty good at mitigating whatever ailments they throw at you, you can armor break them and then just spam them down with whatever good damage dealer you have too. The larva and elemental combo is actually kind of tricky. Surprisingly, I find the larva is the more annoying enemy of the bunch, because you can just reflect yourself and then have the elementals eventually take themselves out with whatever reflected spell they're weak to. But the larva can throw out like a Mighty Guard and a Poison Breath on your people too, so yeah, I like to put him to sleep with poison, because then you really don't have to worry about him too much. And then, again, like I said, you can reflect your party members, or you could have Lulu kind of blitz down one elemental at a time. Now, the giant Tomberry as always is super scary, but at least he does give you the couple turns to wind up. Now, with us, we can blitz him out because we have Lulu's Overdrive, and we only ran into one of them, so it's not that big a deal, but I mean, he will just start stabbing, so yeah, treat him with respect. It's especially nice for me to keep Yuna in SOS because of her SOS haste, so that way she can come in and cure any confusion that pops up. Now, the Demon Varuna is pretty straightforward. Yeah, as it says, he's immune to physical attacks. So really, you just bring out your elemental magic, spam that out, and make sure that you don't get too slowed. I mean, remember that in this case, I have double cast with Lulu. I could throw a double cast with Waka out there too, but he doesn't know Demi or any elemental spells yet. So usually I'll just have Riku to copycat, that way that we have two double cast elemental spells going at it. Then we can rehaste up with either Titus or Kamari, depending on really who has more MP. Then the last encounter I ended up getting is the Ghost, and just like in the last caverns, he'll start the fight with Mega Death. And really, in terms of armor, only Titus and Yuna have the ones that can actually defend against that. Then he counters with his regen and zombie and slow, so, you know, I just don't like to deal with him. Just remember to stop and heal up before you hit that final platform, because yeah, there's no save spot right before Ultima. So, again, I am actually burning all but one of my ethers, but it's worth it because, yeah, the long trek to Ultima, it's hard. Like, those encounters beforehand, like, they're no joke. Now, I will say that the hardest part about the Ultima fight is really getting to him. But you definitely want to get a full break off on him, because his attacks do hit basically the whole party most of the time, and he does hit very hard. Now, with delay attack and delay buster that I got with Titus, and then copycatting that with Riku, and daisy chaining it with Kamari, you can delay him for a really good amount of time if you have the right amount of MP. And it turns out that this guy, unlike basically every other boss in the game, he is not immune to zombie regen combo. And not only that, but he doesn't get hasted up when you do that. So the combination of zombie, poison, and regen will do a lot of damage really fast. So all that we need to do is survive. And even with the delay daisy chaining that I was talking about before, that can really stall out the fight, and that's really all that you need to do. Of course, I do have auto life for Yuna, basically on at least one person in the party, so that way there's always a little bit of insurance. If people do get down, then at least, you know, they will get revived. Now, if he gets his overdrive, then you really need to prepare because your people are going down unless they get the double HP. But in my case, I could just kind of blitz him down or stall him out, and the regen really did a lot of good work there. But when he goes down, his rewards are awesome. We get a no encounters weapon, which is nice, because now, I mean, really, when it comes down to it, we fought everything in the game. But you also get the amulets, which lets you get the double or triple overdrive, depending on how many you want to spend. And then the supreme gems will let us get 7 break damage limit weapons. So that is awesome in case the RNG screws us. So you can always get a break damage limit on everybody. But now we can actually use that no encounters to go and get the, or first of all, get out of the cave, and then also get any of the chests along the way. Now, like the Cloister Trials revisits, all of the chests here are just normal potions. That is, except for the one that you kind of have to unlock behind the glyphs and go through that little bit of a secret path. That gets you 10 elixirs. Now, in terms of level ups, the only real notable things are Waka and Orin for this round. Now, I'm going back to the Visage shop to buy a couple of defense and magic defense spheres, because that way Waka can just get a little bit tankier all around, and Orin can start to patch up his magic defense, because that is actually abysmal. Not only that, but I'm actually using the levels that we got on Orin to go into the end of Waka's grid. Because, I mean, again, Orin's been hogging up all of the good loot drops, so we might as well keep using them. But before I go, I'll just throw a couple of other encounters that I was able to record on the less successful Ultima runs. So that way you can at least see some more of the variety that is in these caves. Again, you have a lot of mimics. They can come in the form of the Albed Machina. They can come in the form of the Garudas, the Dual Horns, and yeah, even the Basilisks. So with these fights, really, you really want to blitz down that lizard so you don't have to deal with it anymore. But yeah, for most of them, yeah, because you can't choose them with the elements anymore, it really does help to throw out the breaks, because in terms of your damage output, like, usually you can't really blitz them down very effectively. And then also because, yeah, you can't choose them with the ailments anymore, so they're gonna hit you. And usually the signature move that they end up copying, yeah, they can usually have like a party-wide sweep. So yeah, you definitely want to make sure that the damage is under control, whether you buff up your people or debuff their respective stat. There's this other encounter with the double jumpy guys, really. Yeah, they're really not that much of an issue. They can still be blinded, so no big deal there. Then last but not least, we have the larva and double turtle. Now again, the larva is actually kind of annoying, or kind of tricky, because again, it can do the mighty guard and also the poison. So usually I like to put him to sleep first, and then I'll just have Orin on counterattack with ice piercing, so that way, yeah, he can take care of these guys pretty good. But yeah, thanks for sticking around. I hope you enjoyed, and yeah, I'll see you next time. So again, if you liked the video, I like your face. Bye bye.